the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. The glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. The glorious battle begin. gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. My name is Apollonia, and my co-caster today will be Obi.
Hi guys, welcome to this quarterfinals of TEC presents South Asia Champions League powered by LG UltraGear. And I am so excited because we have two really well versed and really interesting teams going against one another. It's Filler Cuties versus Team Elixir. Team Elixir is a really stacked team. We have Hammy, we have Kaka, we have Captain Kirk, we have Bishi, and we have Black Infinity against the versatile squad of Danny, Ganja, Cabbage, Sumer, and TA Shadow. So let's go into the bans quickly. We see Yumi Yasuo being banned out, so definitely they're respecting bans against Hammy. And we also see Kane being banned out. Black Infinity has been playing a lot of Kane. And Kane ban does make a lot of sense to me. So they are just basically targeting comfort champions. What are your thoughts on the bans on Team Elixir side?
Alright, Elixir has banned Yasuo, Yumi, Kane. Very targeted bans. They do have first pick, so that's going to be interesting because I'm not sure what their bans are targeting and what exactly they want. Ooh, Aphelios. Now that's a great first pick in my opinion because Aphelios is an absolute monster in the bottom lane. His damage is insane, especially as he progresses, gets his items. He's a very reliable AD carry with a perfect ultimate for burst damage. And the Brom Leona bands from Filler Cutie, they want to target ban the support of Elixir. So that is smart. And the Syndra band, Syndra also is a good first pick, a champion that is a priority in the mid lane or even AD carry. And we see the Irelia lock in. I like Irelia, Kaka does play some Irelia. What about Bishi? Does he play Irelia? I don't really see that all too
Okay,
much.
so here's the tricky part. Okay, you have Kaka who plays a lot of Irelia, and again you have Hammy who plays a lot of Irelia. Hammy is arguably the best Irelia player in South Asia. So he can also take it bot. Kirk does play a lot of Senna. So we can see a Senna Irelia bot. That's something you can expect out of Filler Cuties, which will be very unorthodox, but again, uh, really good. Meanwhile, we see a Poppy and Soraka being picked up. Poppy is definitely something Bishi I think is very comfortable playing with. So it's also good to deny him that Poppy. And Soraka is just so annoying bot lane with the heals. Um, it's I think it's going more towards a protect your AD carry comp at this point.
I like the Aphelios, Poppy, and Soraka. They have that tank, they got sustain, and the longer Aphelios is alive, the better it is. And Poppy can help, reduce the number in team fights with the ultimate. She could just kick out like two members from Filler Cuties, one member even. And Poppy has that mechanic to be able to put team fights in her team's favor, and that's a Trundle lock-in by Filler Cuties. Now, most definitely that is going to be the jungler. Pretty wise. I do like that option. Trundle is a really good. He's really good at prolonged fights, that DPS damage. And now we're going on to the second ban phase. Morgana and Lulu, they are taking out the supports on the side of Elixir because they don't want any support that's going to be able to mess up that center pick that they picked up. And LeBlanc and Cassadin definitely target banned Kaka. He is proficient with these champions in the middle lane. He can be relied on to, carry, especially if he does snowball. He's gonna wreak havoc across the rift. And that's a Mordekaiser first pick in the second pick phase. I like that Mordekaiser pick. They look like Filler Cuties has a good amount of tank, a good amount of burst and damage. Very sustainable fights, I feel.
Okay, so we see a Morgana Lulu being banned out. That also means that they were sort of trying to run that protect that AD carry comp, and you could see a Morgana mid or a Lulu mid pop out. Mordekaiser is something Bishi is really comfortable playing. So Mordekaiser and Trundle are your two beefy units. Black Infi is also very comfortable with the Trundle. So comfort picks coming in till now. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see a Vega being picked up. Vega is very scary a high scaling champion mid. So it'll be really interesting to see how it pans out. Shadow picking up that Fiora. And we have a disconnect. Um, we'll be really back, guys. I think there was a problem. We'll restart. Uh,
Alright, guys, so stay tuned. Don't worry, we'll be back, and pick and bans will most likely be the same. Alright, guys, and welcome back. Not to worry, sometimes we have a few glitches, but all is good. Remember, you are watching the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. Alright, so we have Elixir in Team 1, and we have Filler Cuties in Team 2. So we went through, the first pick phase. We're going through the second one. So let's just wait. The teams are going to still choose the same bands and the same first few picks up to the point where they all disconnected. So let's talk about a little bit about Aphelios, Poppy, and Soraka. More particularly Aphelios and Soraka. This bot lane has a lot of sustain, and they can pretty much survive. So I feel that Elixir, their strategy in the bot lane is not to put in too many ganks there, but just make sure that their bot lane is able to get that CS farm and get their items for the big team fights that they might be preparing for. What do you think?
yes, most definitely. And at this point, we see a lot of we basically see protect the AD carry comp, since Aphelios does dish out a lot of damage, and the whole comp is being revolved around protecting that AD carry till he scales of being that massive nuisance. Meanwhile, on the other side, you do have Irelia, who can potentially go bot or mid, and then you have Mordekaiser going up top. So that'll be really interesting to see. On paper, till now, both teams look good. One looks like a sort of split push 1-3-1 kind of an ending game, and the other looks as protect the AD carry comp. We see a Nar being picked up. That is really interesting. So Poppy jungle, maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
It's like a bot lane with three yordles. I think Poppy's going in the jungle most definitely. We don't see that very often, but it looks like Elixir has some tricks up their sleeve. They do have a good amount of CC, I would say, with Vega and Poppy around. They can stop the dashes like Irelia trying to come through, and I think that Poppy can actually be a key to a lot of the possible wins that they might want to take up in the team fight. So the Vega, I like it. It's a scaling champion. They don't have too much early game, I feel, but it's going to scale very nicely into the late game. As for Filler Cuties, they're looking for the early game. This looks like an early game composition. So we have two teams that are very different, and I think their plans are, you know, Elixir has to stay alive in the early phase, but Filler Cuties have to get those kills that they want in the early game. So I think it's pretty balanced. It really depends on how it plays out. But if Irelia does get really fat, which I believe Irelia might be in the bot lane with Senna, that's going to be very difficult to deal with. Very.
Hammy on that, Irelia has always been a nuisance. It's always been something you really, really need to be scared of, because he's just played that champion so much. He's aware of most matchups. Also, that Irelia bot, with that Senna is really going to be strong. They can dish out some insane amounts of damage and probably give them priority up bot lane. Trundle being that reliable tank, that reliable front line, also puts up a lot of jungle pressure, can roam around pretty easily with that W. And Galio, most definitely, is one of the champions. Kaka plays extremely well. He's well versed with it. And the biggest advantage Galio has is he can move from one lane to another lane just because of his ulti. So you always have to play around Galio ulti. Otherwise, a 3v3 team fight can just turn into a 4v3 team fight, and you'll have no answer to that.
Yeah, I agree with you. We have to look also. Let's say we're talking mid to late game. Poppy is going to be key to making sure that her backline will be safe, like Vega, Soraka, and Aphelios, because they aren't very mobile champions, while Filler Cuties have very mobile champions. So, how both these teams play out, it's a matter of which team has the better teamwork, better macro, and your micro also counts because you got to go through the early laning phase. And I believe that during the qualifiers, I have noticed that Volibear has been a very consistent ban in a lot of these games.
I mean, Volibear wasn't a ban here. They just troll banned 5 because of the restart lobby. But yeah, in qualifiers we did see a lot of lower yellow teams who pocket Volibear since he's so good in the jungle and top for lower yellow. They are comfortable with that champion. And Volibear, if I'm not wrong, is still tier 2. He's not that bad. But when these caliber of teams come in, I don't expect to see a Volibear. Um, Meanwhile, on the other side, let's talk about the composition of filler cuties. You have Danny on Soraka, you have Poppy jungle, you have a Nar top against Mordekaiser, and you have Shadow on his Veigar, which is again scaling. So it's basically uh, protect the it's protect Aphelios, protect Veigar, let them scale up, let them dish out a lot of damage. It's more towards a team fighting comp. So what are your thoughts on that?
I honestly really do like Elixir's comp because I haven't seen something like this very much. Um, Aphelios for one, we don't see Aphelios really often, and the fact that they did pick a sustained support, especially someone like Soraka. Soraka's not really the best to follow up with on forced ganks, especially when 5v5 games are so well coordinated. So the bot lane of Elixir is what I'm looking forward to, and what exactly their plan is. Is Poppy going to be ganking top and mid, give Na that extra little push, or Vega to have an easier laning time so that he can farm up? What is going to be Elixir's plan? That's what I'm most looking forward to. What about for filler cuties for you?
Well, okay, so as for filler cuties, I mean, at this point, it's let your Aphelios carry and let your Veigar carry, but at the same time, you have a Senna Irelia against you, which gives them priority basically because Aphelios can poke that lane out definitely. He can't get into a 2v2 fight or Irelia and Senna will just demolish you. So that does put them behind in a scale of things. On paper, just looking at both team comps, I would have to give this one uh, purely to I would have to give this one purely to Elixir just based on the team comps because they get priority in a lot of lanes.
Yeah, and we do see that Lollipoppy with the Predator Keystone. Now, that's gonna be deadly. Usually when Poppy tries to gank a lane, like okay, with Predator in general as a Keystone, you got a sweeping lens, you charge it up and you just run straight into a lane with a gank. Most often, sometimes the laners don't see you at all because you cut that vision with the sweepers, and warding your lane against a Predator jungler can be very difficult to deal with. So I'm filler cuties, I know that they're friends and they've been playing together for a relatively long time. I would like to see how they take all of that synergy and practice and communication and deal with that raging Poppy that will just run into any lane. We can't forget that Vega also has a lot of CC. But guys, We are in, and this is the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. We see both teams so ready, running to their battle stations. What is going to happen? And now positions are being taken. There's no aggressive invades this time. Not at all.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see. People are playing defensive. They are respecting their opponents. At this point, I think they'll just try to gather as much vision as they can. Cabbage does go in for that cheeky poke. They have managed to put a ward in the top try brush on the side of Cuties. Meanwhile, Danny will also land a poke on Kirk. They're just trying to get as much vision as they can and as much information as they can at this point.
Yeah. And the first Drake that will be spawning is the Mountain Drake. You know, first two Drakes are always not all that important. You can give them up, especially if you're looking for priority in the top and mid lane. Ooh, Kabash and Bishi. So this Na and Mordekaiser matchup, I know Na is going to be able to stay really safe, especially with that footwork rune. That's going to help a lot in Na's laning phase. So how is Bishi or Mordekaiser going to, you know, try to get that lead? Because Mord is great at picking out a target and just killing them easily.
I mean, at this point, all Bishi needs to do is just not die to Nar and survive, because they have picked up Mordekaiser as sort of the safe pick. They want to sort of focus on that Irelia downboard, and it'll be really interesting to see how this game pans out to be.
Yeah, and both junglers do start on the bottom side of the map. It looks like they want to go for... Oh, sorry, no. Trundle started on the top side. And Poppy clears her red, her Krugs, and now moving on to the top side. So both teams, you know, they have a different idea. And that is the Irelia trying to throw a little bit of poke and engage. That Glacial Augment Senna is just slowing them. But is this a little bit of a miscalculation? Kakabai does jump in. And what is his real name? The Irelia.
That's Hammy. That's
Hammy.
Yeah, that's Hammy.
Ah, okay, so that's Hammy, alright. Let's call him Hammy. So Hammy and Kirk, you know, in the bottom lane. And ooh, Irelia does go in for an engage.
We see Trundle coming in. Kakabai taking a lot of damage. He has to flash out. But Aphelios with that insane range will land the killing blow on Irelia. And that's a shock coming in. Seeing that all the summoner spells were up on the side of Team Elixir. Oh my god, that was a bit of a shock.
A brilliant kill, and that is 1-0, the first kill going over to Elixir. A great start in my opinion. You know, now they're going to have a little bit more bot priority. We didn't really expect that they would try to gank. We didn't really try to expect that Elixir would gank bottom because with the Soraka, but they kind of proved us wrong, and Kirk is putting in a lot of damage, and I think that my replay is on a different level, so just let me just adjust that. No worries, guys.
Okay, so we see a lot of action going in bot. Definitely both bot lanes want to prioritize what happens. Oh, there's a flash coming in, very aggressive flash coming in by Ganja. Kirk will take in a lot of damage. There's a TP coming in from Bishi. Ganja will fall. The kill goes over to Captain Kirk. Not ideal, but Ganja will get a kill on Captain Kirk. That's 2 kills. Shadow comes in. The fight is still going heavy on bot lane, and we will see TA Shadow die. That's a really nice encounter. Kaka also coming in on right time, and the trade this trade goes in the favor of Team Elixir, as we have the scoreline 2-2.
Alright, so it's a 2-2. You know, Elixir and Cuties. Ooh, and that is Kaka going in for the, Hammy going in for the kill but misplays, and Danny just picks that up. So that's going to be really good early goal to help with the sustain in the bottom lane, and I really like that. You see the
meanwhile, we have a top engage going against Bishi. They will burn out a flash from Bishi, but he will survive at this point. So you see Poppy's flash also being wasted over there, and priority going definitely over to Bishi right now. At this point, 3 kills for 2. and the game is pretty even still, but the early lane pressure and the 2 kills on Aphelios is definitely scary.
Yes, so a lot of action in the bottom lane as to be expected. I really like that, and we see the dragon is warded. Cuties did ward that. I hope to see some plans coming in from both sides, to pick up that early dragon, because the soul is always everything. And Vega keeping to bot and then picking up that one death, I feel is gonna hurt him a little bit. So we'll see if Shadow's gonna be able to still scale and put out tons of damage later on in the game.
Most definitely, you can see both of these teams prioritizing their bot lane. Aphelios, oh my god, there's another engage attempt coming in from Hammy. They're not letting them stand in the lane at all. There's a lot of damage being dished out to Ganja, and he will pick up a kill on Ganja, Hammy. Meanwhile, Sumer coming in, bot side, and that's been answered by Trundle. Trundle's here as well. Hammy will go in, deal some damage, will walk out of there safe. And that is what I was talking about. Irelia is so hard to lane against. Meanwhile, Cabbage with an engage on Bishi. He will land a stun. He will land some damage. Bishi is very low. He might just fall. And he's trying to kite. But it will go down in vain. Bishi was up ahead, pushing at low HP. And Cabbage, aka Dominic, just punishes him for that mistake.
Wow, that was a lovely kill onto the Aphelios by Cuties, and Trundle coming in. We saw Poppy, trying to follow up and help her bot lane, but Trundle, Black Infinity on that Trundle, came in just at the right time, and we do see that Cabbage outclassed Bishi just a little bit right there in the top lane. Cabbage took that advantage and got himself a lovely solo kill. Now that's great. Because in the solo lanes, if you get that one kill, it's gonna put you ahead. You're gonna pick up some plates. That's even more gold. It's more gold than just that kill alone. And now we'll pick up that Mercury threads, and that's gonna help him a lot. Especially if Mordekaiser can't do the damage, he basically becomes useless.
And you just see Hammy coming back in the lane. He has his Tiamat coming in, so he's definitely gonna start pushing the waves really fast. And start building up that pressure upward. You see Aphelios is playing very safe. He knows at any given point Irelia can jump into his face and he'll have no answer to it. So they are both definitely respecting their opponents at this point. And the game looks really interesting. Kirk coming in from behind will deal some damage on Ganja, will miss his W. And Ganja in return does a lot of damage to Kirk. So that's the scary part of Aphelios. Trading with him is always a bit tricky. As you can see, that's a really early executioner's calling coming in from Kirk. So that's a really, really smart play against that Soraka. Sort of counters that Soraka heal and the sustain purely coming in on Aphelios. At really early, it's barely 8 minutes. So really smart from Kirk.
Yes, and Cuties also did secure the Mountain Drake, and that's great. So that's the first dragon going over to them. That's going to provide a little bit more tankiness, and it's going to be slightly harder to bring them down. But we see Cabbage engaging onto Bishi again with the ulti to the back. But Bishi is still standing his ground. It's just going to be...
Meanwhile, there's a bot engage coming in from Hammy, and he just bursts down Ganja. That's the potential of Irelia. So scary. Bishi and Cabbage trading. Cabbage has gone low. Bishi will decide to back. But Black Infinity coming in with that dive against the Poppy and a Soraka. Not that good of an idea. Hammy pops in his ulti. Black Infinity will take in most of the aggro. Kaka coming in. That's a successful dive. And that's a lot of kills going over with that bot turret. And just like that, Elixir Esports build up a decent enough lead for themselves with that bot turret. Meanwhile, Bishi and Cabbage are still brawling with each other top lane. They're just like, okay, top lane is just top versus top. You don't come in. Your jungle doesn't come in, my jungle doesn't come in, and that's how the game goes.
That was a brilliant dive by Cuties. Trundle tanked all of that damage. Galio uses his ult, gets the knockup, and they just wipe out the bot lane of Elixir. Very nice. It's refreshing. I like that. I like that kind of coordination, especially in these 5v5 games. And Bishi and Cabbage are just two mad juggernauts in the top lane. And looking at the overall scoreboard, we can see that Aphelios is lacking in the CS as well as Bishi. So the goal difference it's in Filler Cuties' advantage, especially that they managed to get a lot of plates in the bottom lane.
And that's what I was saying. You never, kids, this is the lesson you need to learn while drafting. You do not allow Elixir on Irelia. Kaka plays a mean Irelia. Hammy is the best Irelia in South Asia. You do not leave that champion open. Uh, I was pretty shocked to see the engage coming in from Hammy, and he just 100 to 0 that Aphelios in about no time whatsoever. There was no counterplay to that. And you see, again, they're trying to like maintain that bot pressure, that bot priority, and this just cheesing at this point. Ganja is so scared to even CS. He doesn't know what to do right now.
Yes, and we do see that Kaka on the Galio, he has completed his Proto Belt. As well as Trundle, he got his full jungle item already. Now that's good, because the moment you get that first item above your opponents, you can do a significant amount of damage. And I hope that they do play around that. Ulti is on cooldown, but TP is up. And all the TPs are up on both sides, so we can expect a huge fight to break out. Now it's 30 seconds till the second dragon is going to spawn, and that's the Cloud. We can see all the vision control coming out from Kaka and Black Infinity.
Yeah, they definitely want that Cloud Drake. Oh my god, Danny being caught completely out of position. Will have to pay the price, and another kill going on to that Hammy. Ooh, that mistake genuinely puts Filler Cutie quite behind, because that means they just lose that bot dragon, probably followed by that bot turret. And meanwhile, Bishi, he's angry. He wants to take that revenge on Cabbage. He knows Cabbage ulti is down. He will dish out a lot of damage. Cabbage does try to avoid most of it, but oh, he will flash out. He will survive on literally a tick of HP. And Bishi is just like, you bully me, now I bully you. And with that being said, Team Elixir secure the dragon, and with that, they'll probably end up securing that bot lane. And it's gonna be an Inferno Soul coming in, Cabbage coming in pretty quickly, and he will pop his ulti. Meanwhile, Sumer also coming in, and Kaka with that reply. It's gonna be a 2v2 fight real quick. Bishi will fall, however, though. Oh my god, he flashes perfectly. That's really well played. He does trade a kill for a kill. Cabbage gets that 2 kills, but it's a fair trade. Kaka with that flash taunt will deal a lot of damage and take down Cabbage. Meanwhile, another fight breaks out at bot. Ganjas oversteps, is out of his place, gets punished for it, and with that, we see a 3k gold lead come in the favor of Team Elixir. What a dominating performance. I'm loving this game right now.
That was a 3-for-1. Definitely really bad for Filler Cuties right there. Elixir, their teamwork, it's really great. We see that. Especially with that little outplay that Bishi managed to do. Got that damage down, and Kaka wanted his vegetables. Got that kill on Cabbage. Beautiful flash, taunt, Proto Bell, everything. Just spam it all. And the second Drake, which was the Cloud Drake, does go over to Elixir, and it is an Infernal Arena. Now, Infernal Arena is going to be it's so crucial in every game. The extra burst of damage is always useful, especially when it comes to team fights. You do get the Infernal Soul, you can just obliterate your opponents, like, with just a snap. And that was a very short pause, and that was actually shocking.
That's actually shocking. I'm used to longer pauses, and I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, that was a really short pause, and I'm quite impressed. But as you can see, Filler Cuties is just suffering at this point. They played a protect the AD carry comp, but your AD carry is so behind. 77 CS to 111, where you just 2-4-1, and your Irelia in front of you is 5-2-3. Also, that's what I was talking about. You always have to play around Galio ulti. Cabbage and Poppy ganked Bishi up top. They were like, okay, Bishi's overextended. That's an easy kill. They'll have no answer to it. And Galio just pops in out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Shadow lands a cage on Kaka. Kaka will reply back with a taunt. Kirk is there. They will poke around and just walk back. So, you can see at this point, Kaka is confident enough to walk into the jungle and just walk back without taking the middle first turret or the bot first turret. That's the amount of confidence, and that's the amount of lead they have already, that without taking the first turret, he can actually walk into the enemy jungle.
Exactly, you know, the confidence on Elixir, they are exuding it right now. Uh, a lot of the vision, you can see that there are 4 vision wards put down by Elixir. That is great. We don't see it often. As you look at Cuties, I don't think they have the money. Oh, they do have the control wards in their inventory, but they're probably looking for the right time to put it down. It's good to use it when, you know, the whole team comes together and you want to take over that vision, not let the enemy see where you are, and then ambush them from that area. Poppy is a really hard counter to Galio, so Kaka has to watch out there. Cutie still can play out a brilliant team fight. But right now, it is a struggle. It most definitely is a struggle.
Black and Feet getting in engage on Shadow. He will deal some damage. Shadow is able to cage him out. Meanwhile, Hammy is also going in ham. He will get a double kill. Oh my god, Hammy is so scary on that Irelia. He just dashes past the turret, kills 2 people, and is now just walking back. That's absolute decimation coming in from the side of Elixir. They haven't looked this dominant in forever.
And that just set them with an almost 7k goal lead. That was insane. It looked like Elixir had a plan to just make their bot lane fat. And it was just Mordekaiser, Bishi, take that Mordekaiser, farm in top, hold your own lane, and we will do all the work. And Galio and Trundle just put all of their energy into their bottom lane. Hemi on the Irelia is mad. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what to expect, but that was a really good show. The way he, you know, he goes in, lands his stuns, skill rotation, everything. It's brilliant. And Ganja on the Aphelios, Danny with the Soraka, and even Shadow, they're all suffering because they can't stand in the early game. Their plan was to probably just farm it out. But when you have an opponent that is so gank heavy, so much CC, so much mobility, they will overtake your early game. And I think that's something that they should have looked out for, especially in the draft. But as the timer goes on, the game progresses, we'll see if Cuties can scale it out. And that is a pause. Looks like a few technical difficulties. Don't worry, guys. Always happens. But you are watching the South Asia Championship League, powered by LG UltraGear. So right now, what does it look like for both teams to you?
Okay, so Aphelios is very behind. Vegar again is quite behind. And at this point, Hammy, his 2 healing items are completed. He's far up ahead. He can probably solo carry the game from this point because he's just so far ahead in items, so far ahead in gold. As you can see, it's 4,900 versus 8,200 gold. That's insane. All the gold lead they have is on Hammy right now. Herald being popped up top will secure them 1 turret on the least. And Cuties have a mad uphill battle from this point. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will definitely try. Meanwhile, they tried to dive Bishi, and there's a TP coming in real quick. Bishi will engage on a fight with Cabbage. Meanwhile, Hammy just kills Aphelios bot. Bishi will get in a kill on Cabbage with that ulti. Shadow, they're jumping in on Shadow, and oh my god, Hyrelia, he's just healing so much. He's just doing so much damage. He's so scary right now. They have no answer to that, and I'm really surprised to see not a single executioner calling being picked up on the side of Cutie. That's where experience lies. Kirk had an executioner calling within 8 minutes, and it's been 17 minutes. You see that Irelia healing like insanity, and neither the Aphelios nor anyone else for that matter has a basic executioner calling to counter that.
Yes, especially buying their executioners is so important for Cuties. They have the Senna. Senna has heals. Irelia has that life steal. You even have Mordekaiser that has, you know, some sort of healing. And is that another engage? Kirk will be safe. Is that going to be an ulti in vain by Ganja? And yes, that's an ulti that will not do much. It looks like Elixir's game at this point.
I think Hammy felt bad. Oh, meanwhile, Kirk again overextending. He will be punished for it. That was kind of stupid, walking in without any real support. But yeah, Hammy was just like, hey, you wasted your ulti. Let me help you out. I'll waste mine as well. It's just so... Filler Cuties really need a miracle at this point if they want to win this game.
Elixir also have secured the third Drake, and that is the Infernal. They are one away, less than 4 minutes away to the next dragon for that soul. Oh,
Meanwhile, Hammy was just there. Kaka ulti is on top of him, and he will go in, dish out a lot of damage. There's an exhaust coming in on Hammy, and Vega's ulti will take him down. Kaka, all 5 of them down on Kaka. Kaka does. He emotes. He messes up that fruit completely and will be punished for it. Kaka being cheeky there, but he will mess up that fruit entirely.
that was the strong team fight. Now it's coming mid to late. Now it's the mid game. And that was a strong team fight that Filler Cuties wanted. Perfect execution onto Hammy and Kaka. And you know, when you see that Aphelios running in with that red circle icon, like what Trick2G calls the Uchiha clan, and you see those blades spinning, it's scary. Aphelios does have that IE and attack speed boost. His damage is, he's kind of has damage, but not as much as Irelia. Hammy is still a beast. They can still come back, you know, have a proper team fight, and it can be over for Filler Cuties. But if Elixir continues making mistakes like that, it's not going to look bright for them because they are going to fall out, especially with 4 melee champions and the only ranged being their support. Now they have to be careful of Poppy's W. It can stop them from engaging onto Filler Cuties.
I mean, I already have the highlight for today. It for me has to be that failed fruit by Kaka. He just missed that fruit by a long shot. And he was cheeky. He was taunting before he hit the fruit because he knew he was going to survive. But after that miss, I don't think so. So you see Vegar has his 2 core items completed. He is getting in finally some kills, some farm being fed up to him. A lot of the game has come to a bit of a standstill as we go into a mid-game point, which I think goes into the favor of Filler Cuties. They really want this to get a little stagnant. They really want some items to come in on their Aphelios before they can actually start to imagine to do something else. What are your thoughts on how Filler Cuties should progress after this point?
Alright, Filler Cuties, you know, I just glanced and something caught my eye and kind of stopped me there. Vega has Twin Shadows and Hextech GLP 800. Now, Shadow does not have many... Okay, wait, his stacks are, you know, kind of there. Now, he's opting for a Vega with some sort of utility, and that's going to help his team kite. So, Filler Cuties, I think their plan is to make sure that their CC is put down. There's a good distance between their carries and the opponents, with Danny as the source of sustain on that Soraka. Now they're going to try and look for fights or cocky dives that Elixir might do, and that's how Filler Cuties will want to capitalize on it. But right now, the dragon is coming up in less than 30 seconds, and they can't afford for Elixir to take this dragon because they would then have the Infernal Soul, and that's just too much burst damage for all the squishies that they have on the side of Filler Cuties. So I think that they gotta, you know, wait it out and play on the mistakes that Elixir might do. And if, let's say, if they start the dragon, that's a good mistake for them to capitalize on and try to use their dragon.
Meanwhile, Sumer being caught. There will be a case to try to save him. Bishi going in. He flashes onto Shadow. He will ulti. Shadow does. Zhonya's out of it. And he will walk away from it. Meanwhile, Hammy coming in. They'll land everything on Sumer. They take down the jungler. There's a perfect taunt coming in from Kaka. And Hammy going all ham. This for me might just be all she wrote. Black Infinity just takes in that simple Drake and they will end up pushing this bot lane. Hammy does get a little cocky, does get punished for it, and he will die. But that's a huge advantage coming in for Team Elixir.
What? See, this is what confuses me. How did Hammy just randomly in there for no reason when he could have just pushed for that bottom tower, try to open the inhibitor?
Wait, Kirk versus Shadow. 1v1. That's a lot of damage Kirk has dealt on Shadow. Oh my god, that's a
Support.
nuisance. Support, by the way, Senna, by the way. She heals you, she dishes out a lot of damage, and she can at least 1v1 Vega. So I don't know where there is stopping for Senna coming in.
Support, by the way. When your support is fighting your mid laner, that's kinda... It's a feels bad moment, I feel. That's a real feels bad. But Kirk used to be an AD carry player, so playing something like Senna support is very fingers to him, that kind of range AD carry type of style. We can see why Kirk is absolutely comfortable on this pick. He doesn't have an Umbral Glaive though, but that's okay, I guess. He did prioritize the Edge of Night, and that makes sense because there is quite a bit of CC, coming out from Filler Cuties. But looking at the CS scores and all of that, Aphelios is really lagging behind, and he has to try and get that gold or get more shutdown and purchase those items so he can, unleash the full potential of that UltraGear clan damage that he can do.
Let's look at the gold right now. 12,400 gold on Hammy against a 7,000 gold on Aphelios. That's more than 5,000 on the gold lead, which is insane at this point. I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, is it comebackable for Filler Cuties? From where I look, I don't even think they can contest this Baron. I mean, even if the side of Elixir takes a lot of damage starting that Baron, Filler Cuties might not be able to contest it. It's a two-man Baron. Filler Cutie has no idea what's going on. They're running around like headless chicken, and they will lose this Baron. And I think this is game at this point. What are your thoughts on it, Abhi?
That is also the Infernal Soul and Baron buff on Elixir. I think it's pretty much their game. If they somehow manage to troll this with both the buffs, then I don't even know. Like, that shouldn't even be the case. Elixir should look to just close this out. They can play 4-1 or 1-3-1. TPs are up on their side, and this is the problem. When you run double TPs with your team composition, when you are behind and kind of losing, it's hard to utilize TP, and then it becomes a summoner that just sits there. And I think Filler Cuties is really feeling that. Like, both their TPs won't be of much use at all at this point. They got to get their vision.
Meanwhile, Hammy takes a lot of turret shots. He will go in and he will die. Hammy is like, fuck this, I'm gonna play it like a solo queue. I don't care what happens. You guys are taking too much time to end this. And if there wasn't 4 people up top, he would have probably turret dived and killed that Veigar. But yeah, there was a mistake, and they got punished for it. Some gold being given down to Filler Cuties, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. The lead is just too huge at this point, honestly.
Shadow with the 3,000 actives. Okay, he only has 3 actives, but he has so many actives, played that out, and then his team came to save him. This is what we're talking about. They have such a big lead, but the split and Hammy just dying there, it's dragging out the game, I feel, for no reason. But it looks like they're very confident. Elixir is really confident.
Sumed goes in cheekily. He will take in a lot of damage. Has to flash out from there. Meanwhile, Cabbage goes on Kirk. He will be able to land in the kill on Kirk. Bishi gets a reply, gets in the kill on Sumer. Kaka coming in. Now they're trying to collapse on Cabbage. A lot of damage being dealt. Kaka will Zhonya's. Bishi will secure 1 kill. He is going in, but will die. Meanwhile, Black Infinity is just taking down their inhibitor. Guys, you need to protect your inhibitor. Stop team fighting, and oh my god, it's like they win a team fight, but they're still on disadvantage, and there's this experience coming in at this point.
Chondo was going for the gates, and probably his team was just trying to distract them. But that is 1 inhibitor for them, which is really good. If you look at the side of Elixir's map, only 2 towers are gone, and there's still a lot to eat into. So this, if Filler Cuties want a chance, they have to prepare that it's going to be a long game to break into their defenses. But death timers also will increase as the game progresses. We're almost reaching 30 minutes, not quite yet, but Elder will be spawning in 45 seconds. And we all know that even having the soul if you do pick up that Elder buff, you can change the team fights, because as long as the opponent is at 20% health, they're dead. The Elder buff just eliminates them, and it has a really cool sound effect, so I low-key want to see that happen. And but this is what we're talking about, you know. It's always unexpected. The one way that we saw everybody just group, empower the minions, push, and that didn't
Which
happen.
he got in a bad spot. He will flash in, however, completely misses E. Does land in that ulti on Danny, will deal a lot of damage to him. Black Infi coming in from behind. Danny flashes out, but a good damage coming in from Infi. Will pick up that kill on that ulti. And that's a perfect taunt coming in from Kaka, 2-man. He will land a kill on Sumer. Aphelios coming in from behind, dealing in a lot of damage. Ganja has been left unchecked, but will fall down. They will collapse on Ganja. He does go in with that kind of stupid flash. And Infi and Kaka both alive. Meanwhile, Irelia is just like, I have no time for this. I'm just going to end the game. And that is GG. Well played. Being called out. That's all she wrote. It was kind of a weird game at this point, honestly. But, okay, Black Infi is just like Apple said on stream. She wants to hear the sound. I will give her the sound before I go down. But Hammy was like, nope.
And that will be it. The winners of this qualifiers does go to Elixir. And GG, well played to Filler Cuties. You know, they tried really hard to come back, and they did what they could. So that was a great game to watch. They didn't go for all of them group up and push, maybe because they were afraid of the CC and the range that Filler Cuties had, but instead they went for the gates. They had one player push, and all of them would just distract, pick fights, and that was exactly what they did. But we did see Filler Cuties finally starting to scale and do some sort of damage, but I think it was too late, right? Just a little bit too late. And remember, guys, that is the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. We are in the qualifiers, so do stay tuned. We'll be back with the next game very shortly.
Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. The glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. numerous forces aimed at the Earth.